Well, Pat, Reusse Unchained, by the way, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. I happened to be perusing through NBA and Knicks Twitter last night as the New York Knicks fell to 1-2 on the season. They got beat at home by the Cavs, the 4-0 Cleveland Cavaliers. They blew a
We're
fourth quarter
good.
lead. Yeah, the Cavs are good. So Karl Anthony Towns, he did foul out. It was his first foul trouble game of the season. He only played 32 minutes. Only 8 shot attempts.
Wow.
And here's a tweet from Nick's Twitter from Ariel Pacheco, NBA. Cat has only attempted 5 3-pointers in 62 minutes so far this year. Not nearly enough. Knicks fans are already mad about Cat's shot selection or Tibbs' usage of him. So,
Well, yeah, they thought that they were getting a 3-point shooter, but he did that when he wasn't playing center. He's now playing center for here he was always starting on the outside. I don't know how much Tibbs is letting him start on the outside. How much he's down in the post. I haven't watched him enough. I didn't watch their game last night at all. But he's you know what. My theory on why we haven't seen the rookies is they're trying to figure out how to play with Randall. The Knicks might be trying to figure out how to play with Cat too. So I don't know. It's plus they got 5 players. Josh Hart can't make a shot right now, and Bridges was terrible in the front. He was 2 for 23 in the preseason or something like that. So and they'd have no bench. So I think long term that trade's going to cost Tibbs his job. That's what I think. So
yeah. Well, we put your write that down prediction of by February fired on the record. So it's in our
yes.
database, Pat.
Okay, and that's a good double, I would say, if that comes through.
I
Maybe
think it's
even
a
a
homer,
triple.
Joe. I think it's a
A
home run.
triple,
Oh,
maybe a
Tibbs is fired?
double.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the other thing is it was funny. Like opening night, everybody's talking about how they're not going to. It's in the instructions, the same instructions that they had in the middle of last season. Let more contact go, and now the fouls are out of control. So it's really weird what's going on. I don't quite understand it, but they also have this referees union that that if that's pretty defiant, kind of like a baseball's referees union. And if you tell them to do one thing, they're probably going to try to do the other. Tony Brothers and the crew, so that could be part of it too. But we don't want the games are going 235, 240, 245 because they're talking so many fouls. And take a lesson from baseball here, ladies and gentlemen, running the NBA. When your game's starting getting ultra long, you start losing more and more of your audience. So just remember that, and don't call as many fouls. Okay.
Okay, we'll send a memo. We'll send a
Well,
memo
Okay.
to Adam Silver.
Yeah,
and so
but go
do
ahead.
we think, Patrick, that they are defying them? Because like if that's the case, and you might be right about that, I guess my question is how do we solve that if the
Oh,
league wants contact allowed and the officials are like, forget that, we're going to call every bit of
yeah,
contact.
well, what they sent out though, I just looked at the video. How John Hollinger had it posted along with a piece he did for the Athletic about the fouls, and the video. It's the straight line path. If you interrupt their straight line path, it's now a foul, and it's a little bump, and yet they're trying to explain the difference between when it's a foul and when it's not, and it's and this is not like slow it down and look at it when they're
Right.
blowing the whistle. This is you know, to me, it's much easier to judge how severe the contact was than whether it was straight line if you interrupted a straight line path or not. But I don't know. They always try to explain uh, things that favor the officials. So I don't know. But anyway, I hope we have a nice ball game with the Mavericks tonight where we maybe have 50 fouls called total, maybe 45.
Well, yeah, it
Get
should
the
be
game
festive.
played, let them go at each other. We got the Lively versus Gobert thing. Lively went on
Yeah.
podcast down there and ripped Gobert, and so we got that going too. So
I love how and Lively's a good player. Don't get me
yes,
wrong, but when you're like the sixth guy in line behind
yes,
Luca and
yes, right,
Kyrie,
right.
and you're taking
Well,
shots at it, yeah, just maybe calm down.
I did kind of listen to the podcast though, the part about Rudy, and he kind of got talked into that. The guy proposed the guy kind of came up with the theory for him, and he
Yeah.
basically said yes. It's not like he came on the show and said, "I want to tell you what a overpaid non-factor Rudy Gobert is how it's now being, you know, the publicized as happened." But the guy kind of talked him into, that's the way we ask questions now. We tell them
Rudy's
what
garbage,
happened.
right? You agree, right? We all agree that
Yeah, we
Rudy's
we
garbage.
we
Okay.
we,
Yeah.
we tell them what happened, and then they go along with the theory because they want to end the interview when they generally speaking they want to enter the interview. If you give them a chance to end it quickly, they will, right? If you give them the answer to your question, that started with the sideline reporters. How can your team play such an inspirational, wonderful, fantastic game? And you played last night too. You guys are really warriors, aren't you? Yes, we are, aren't we? So anyway, the Mavs coming to town, and they're on a back-to-back here, though, so that should be an advantage for our boys. And I watched Luca the other day. Watched a little bit. He's about a step and a half slower getting back to the defensive end, and he wasn't exactly a rocket before, but
He
you know,
plays his way into shape, I think.
yes, he does. Plays, and he didn't make the Olympics, but he did go over and play with Slovenia, trying to get him to the Olympics this summer. So he's probably kind of resting up, but. There's no sense in being in fully confined condition. But as we were talking about last year, 2 years ago, Luca came in looking like a hunk. And then I remember that he got himself in shape, and he was
There's some like muscle definition for the first time.
the thing was Luca's in shape. Well, that didn't work. So now he's Luca. Now he's Luca again, figuring out a way to get the ball up and shooting like crazy and and he does a very good job on defensive pointing that this guy just, that his other guy is pointing, go get him because I'm not going to run way out there. So, he's
Yeah.
a very good pointer on defense. But
On the Wolves side, Pat, Chris Finch was asked, I don't know if it was after the Toronto game or if it was at like a practice the next day, but because they've had a couple days off, but he was asked about the basically 8.2 man rotation.
Yeah.
It's like 8 guys, and then if they
Yeah.
can find 6 minutes for Joe Ingles to run around.
yes,
And he said, our goal is to find one more guy to make it 9.5. He goes, whether it's Minot or. So he's saying we have not found that guy yet, but our hope at some point is to find another guy to make it a 9.5 man rotation for this team.
and so the deal is 3 out of those 4 guys are just going to sit and watch. Is that the deal? Unless somebody gets hurt, unless somebody gets injured, or that's
As of right now.
I was very fearful of that with I like Finch, but I just feel that you should select a game for each one of these guys to play some, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. You got to
Like home against the Raptors, maybe would have been a good opportunity.
Yeah, that would have been. And if you would have taken those 4 guys and Joe Ingles, they would have beaten the Raptors worse than they did with the team that was playing because they didn't give a damn. So that's what's that going to do? I mean, if you can send these guys periodically to Iowa. I've seen a couple of Iowa Wolves games. You learn nothing. It's just chaos. It's just stupidity. It's not competitive. It's just idiocy. Yeah, but you get Luka down there, it's not gonna. He's gonna go down there and he's gonna get 28 and 14, and so what? He comes back up and he sits.
That's
What
the
the
thing.
hell? What the hell good does
And I
that
don't
do?
think he's even on a two-way. I think he's just on an
He's on a
NBA
one way.
contract. Yeah.
But they still, I was reading about it. They can still send him down there anytime they want to if they haven't had 3 years. Luka's not three yet. If you don't have 3 years of I think NBA experience, which would be having a one-way contract, you can just keep sending them
Well,
back
he
down.
definitely he's had three for sure because it's two with the Wolves and then he played for the Pistons 3 years ago.
Yes, but I think they were all one ways. I mean, two ways.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
yeah, I
Gotcha.
think it's got to be one way. I don't know what it is, but well, that ought to be encouraging for Dillingham. And so we did this great maneuvering in the draft to get two number one draft choices, and they're never going to play. Basically, is what he's telling us, right?
To this point, yeah, that's what he's saying. This would be
Yeah.
a great time to just put some young guys out there early in the season, but
Yeah.
I guess not.
Well, we can. That's good. We can make fun of him all year then about this thing, and but he's kind of old school. He's in his with his background. I would think that they want to see what they got, but I guess not. He thinks he knows what they got, and I don't know what the solution is if he's not going to play him. So.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think the cat trade, because you do have to get new guys in the rotation and familiar with teammates, do you think the plan at the draft changed drastically on playing time because of that trade?
Yeah, I think that certainly that's what's driving me crazy about Joe Ingles. They signed Joe Ingles on
Right.
July 3rd, thinking they needed a shooter. Well, 3 months later, you don't need a shooter. You got DiVincenzo, and you got Ant shooting more threes than he's shooting. Ant shooting 15 threes a game. So, instead of telling Joe, Joe, God, we feel bad. We'll try to move you somewhere you might get some minutes, but you're an accessory now. We don't need you. They're trying to figure out how to get 7 minutes for Joe Ingles instead of somebody who might do you some good eventually. So I don't quite understand what the hell they're doing, but they'll have. Are they sold out? They got to be sold out for tonight, don't they?
It's
Pretty
got to be
much.
close. Let's check the secondary market here. It should
Let's see
be
what we're charging for the
feisty in
Mavs.
there.
They got the Mavs and then Denver on Friday, right?
Denver, by
Yes,
the way,
yeah.
is
The
they have not been alerted that the season started yet with the
No,
Nuggets.
no,
So,
they
oh
had
my
to
gosh.
fight mightily to beat the Torontos, right? And yesterday was that Toronto that they beat just barely in overtime or something. So,
And they're trying the Russell Westbrook thing too off
oh
the
God,
bench, and
Why do teams
it
do
is
that
such a
still?
disaster. It's so bad.
I couldn't beat him in horse now, but but 15 years ago we'd have a battle. We'd have a battle in a game of horse. He's terrible. Why is he keep? Why did they bring him in?
It's weird. It is super weird. I saw I think it was after their third game, that they were like one of the best teams in the league offensively through the first week with Jokic on the floor. But when Jokic is not on the floor, they were like a 59 net rating, 100 being average, historically bad. And Westbrook is the one that's leading that second unit. So I don't know what they were thinking, but
Well,
good luck to them.
He was an SOB for a while at Oklahoma City, but that was in the get to the basket time,
Yeah.
right? Or before you're shooting 900 threes, and was Durant there with him when he was doing?
Well, they had Durant, Westbrook, and James Harden for a few
Yeah,
years.
right. Yes, so he didn't have to shoot many jumpers. He just could drive. He didn't have to shoot many jumpers. That was, when you had that, you didn't realize that they were all crazy. You didn't realize that James Harden was like going to turn into this. He was the sixth man there, and he was fantastic, and he looked like he was a warrior, and then he turned out to be a lunatic. And Kevin is, a great player and has had a long, long career, but he's a very, sensitive fella. And then Russell just can't play. So I don't know what the hell why they brought him in. I guess just because they could get him for nothing, right? So
Yeah,
that's
just seems kind of kind of desperate. Are the Yankees cooked down
Yeah, they're
3-0?
cooked. They were getting pretty good, 14 million, which is a good audience for baseball the first two games, 14, 15 million. You shouldn't get a good audience when you got the two most historic franchises in baseball playing each other for the first time since 1981.
But even then, baseball
But
can't catch a break and have it be like a
no,
6-game epic
no,
series. No, it's just
yeah,
going to be a
yeah,
sweep and done.
that's what I was just going to say. They get that, and then all of a sudden, I mean, the Freddie Freeman home run was a great moment, but it ruined the World Series because now the Yankees can't get ahead, and it's also what's reflective of the worst thing about modern baseball is the Dodgers are beating them with a bullpen. Not with the starters, they're beating him with a. I mean, Yamamoto pitched good. Okay, he got into the seventh, but the Dodgers trying to clinch the World Series tonight are having a bullpen game.
Yeah.
It's a bullpen game. Somebody pointed this out to me. In 1963, the Dodgers swept the Yankees. The Yankees have suffered 3 sweeps of their 40 World Series. 1963, they swept them. They used 4 pitchers. Sandy Koufax pitched 2 complete game shutouts. Drysdale pitched a complete game. Johnny Padres pitched 8 1/3, and Ron Peronowski got 2 outs. The
Wow.
bullpen got 2 outs when they swept them in 1963.
I mean, pretty risky to go against the grain of the third time through the order there. That's
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Sandy.
Walter Alston screwed up. Should have been fired
right.
after that World Series.
Yeah, that's right. Because Sandy had a 2-hitter going, and then the third time through the order, he gave up a hit. So
and he had to retire early because of arm problems. He should have been
Yes,
managed
He
That's
much
true.
better.
He should have been managed, no doubt about it. Drysdale, same thing. He only pitched till he was 38 or something. But 4 pitch. Nobody's making a big this Jim Norman, who's goofy on Twitter. He responds to everything, but he sent me that stat. 4 pitchers. We might use that many in the third inning tonight if you get the chance, So unbelievable.
How about
That is
the Aaron Judge stat too, Pat? Did you see this? So
when are they
of
gonna
players
start, when are they going to start booing them?
soon, probably tonight,
Yeah.
but of players with 250 plate appearances in the postseason,
250.
only 2 of them of the 53 players have a batting average below 200. Aaron Judge and Reggie Sanders.
Wow.
That's it.
Unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's and Giancarlo, who can get into some of the worst slumps in the history of baseball. He can't get a hit for 6 weeks. Is the only guy they got in the lineup that might do him and Soto. By the way, I did say on Twitter yesterday, all those hot rumors about the Twins signing Soto, I don't think are going to come through because we got the walls too high out there in right center.
But they're going to kick the tires.
Too far.
You know they're
Too
going.
far
You know they're going to. You know
gonna
what? The
kick
Twins
the
were in
tires.
on Soto.
I don't know. Thad's gone. He was kind of where kicking the tires guy, wasn't he? He and Derek. I mean, more than Derek. Kid Chad was to answer a question when they'd sent him out to answer the questions. Boy, they've been quiet, huh? Whew. Nothing.
Yeah.
They're going to sell, and nothing else is going on.
Do you think we're just going to get at some point, are we going to get a reporting cycle of here are the finalists or is it just going to be a press release one day that says, here's the new owner of the Twins?
I don't know. But also, I thought that at some point, don't you have to let us know here pretty soon? Is it the day the World Series ends or the day after the World Series ends? You got to let us know who you put on the 40-man. I'm kind of interested in who they took off the 40-man. But I guess with all the free agents, I mean, no, they don't have free agents. They got arbitration cases.
It's usually 5 days after the season ends, right? There's a window before the league year begins, and then you have to make announcements on that stuff.
Now, we don't have the league year in the
kind
baseball.
of.
And we do, but we don't. We weren't smart enough to call it the league year.
No, but there's like a week or a 5-day buffer, and then
the league year is starting. Let's give them more publicity.
The ball drops in New York City.
Hey, do not rip the league year. March is magical because of that.
Oh yes. It's although Yes, it is. It is. The NFL free agency is magical. Not quite as magical as the NBA when that starts, and then we know 10 days ahead of time who they sign. But we got to wait for the league year to start there too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, salary cap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
Meanwhile, the Flower tonight in Pittsburgh, we're supposed to be all emotional about it. I just can't get too emotional about the guy going back to play for a team that he didn't. That's not us, right? I mean, he won some cups in Pittsburgh. What do I give a damn? I don't care.
3.
You know, huh?
It's highly emotional. What are you talking about? 16
and
years
Sarah,
there.
Russo and Sarah are very fired up for it.
I
though.
saw my Star Tribune. There's a big picture of the
Yes.
Flower, a big story. I'm very invested. Very invested.
Our beat writers love the Flower, man, because the Flower gives them quotes, right? The Flower
Oh,
is
great quote.
apparently a great guy. So,
He's a great quote, and he is a good guy. Yes, he is.
yes.
He is very accommodating.
And even though his first game this year he looked like a complete old sieve, he played pretty good in Florida. So,
Really good.
And so, what is he? 39, 38, 39?
40 on the 28th of November.
Holy cow. Unbelievable.
Almost mine.
Yeah, anyway, we're supposed to be all wrapped up. Come on, Flower, come through. Who gives a damn? But go,
I'm going to the Wolves, so
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be there too.
Oh,
I'll be
we'll see
there
you guys
too,
out there.
and
Okay.
we'll see.
who's buying dinner?
We start at 7:10.
At $20 a pop,
Get
who's
done
buying
at
dinner?
6:30, isn't it?
6:30.
You know what? I hate to say this about it, and I don't.
Dex, you want to tell them?
I only went down to the Twins room about 3-4 times this year, but they're pretty good. They get they get you $20, but it's pretty good, right?
Okay.
And the Wild is I never go down there, but they're pretty good. The Wolves, they've improved their product everywhere but in the kitchen. That's what I'd say.
That's your hot take.
That's my
What's up,
hot
Glenn?
take.
Hey, Rod, Mark, Glenn.
Yeah. I
Glen's
don't
your
care.
boss too. Tell him, hey,
No,
let's get that kitchen improved.
get there early and bring your own Jimmy John. That's my advice. So.
Hey, Patrick, last thing, as Dex said, 6:30 tip-off tonight.
Oh, good.
6:30 tip-off, so don't be late. It's
I'm
TNT
never late.
game, right?
I get there at 3. I just would have.
Okay.
The fact that it's 6:30 is fantastic. So it must be somebody's doubleheader, and we're the first game.
Yeah,
That's great.
TNT tonight.
Wow. So
Pelicans Warriors is the nightcap tonight.
Hey, has Bronny played again or not?
He is not. No.
Oh shit. Well, he still got 3 minutes more than our far guys, though, total. So
That's true. Yeah, Bronny's having a better, at least for playing time, than
Bronny's
Rob
got 3
Dillingham.
minutes.
So
Dillingham, Minot, Luca, and who's the other guy? Minot and Luca,
Leonard Miller?
Dillingham, and Shannon,
Terrence Shannon. Yeah.
and Leonard Miller. Bronny's played 3 minutes more than those 5 guys combined. So
That is true. Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
Now we found out I was saying it might be because he wants to have the veterans figure out how to play to Randle. But now it's just he's gonna get 9.5 guys and the hell with the rest of them. So
Trade them all. Yep. All
you
right,
know
Pat.
what? The Turkey Committee has been known to come up with surprise winners. Let's just
That's
say
true.
Wow.
Sir,
Look at
you
that.
never
Foreshadowing.
know.
Little
You
tease
never
right
know.
there.
All right. See ya.
All right. See you, Pat.
Thanks,
Reusse
Pat.
Unchained. There's your Turkey of the Year tease a month out.
Go, 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 go.